shows up on time. Is he in? Okay. Excellent. Perfect timing. All right. Is everybody good to go? Should we take this public? Okay. Minister, are you good?
Yeah, ready to go.
All right. When it hits 7. Thank you. Welcome to this meeting of the Standing Committee on Social Development. My name is Katrina Knockleby. I'm the Deputy Chair of this meeting, and I will be chairing this evening. I'm going to now ask that my members of the committee introduce themselves here, starting on the left.
Ron Bonacruz, MLA Dead Chokes.
Lisa Semler, MLA for Nuvik Twin Lakes.
Rocky Simpson, Hay River South.
Thank you. I don't believe at this time that we have any of our members online. So I will introduce myself, or I already did. So I'll introduce our staff. We have Sheila McPherson, the law clerk. She is joining us virtually. Kathleen Nosh, our committee advisor, and Taylor Maxwell, our committee support officer intern. This evening, the Standing Committee on Social Development is reviewing Bill 48, Arbitration Act. The bill is available on the Legislative Assembly website. Bill 48, Arbitration Act, received second reading in the Legislative Assembly on March 30th, 2022, and was referred to the Standing Committee on Social Development for review. Bill 48 replaces the existing Arbitration Act 1988. The purpose for this update is to modernize old arbitration legislation and bring it in line with international best practices. Committee received no submissions from the public on Bill 48. I will now invite the Honourable R.J. Simpson, Minister of Justice, to deliver any opening remarks on Bill 48. Following the Minister's remarks, committee will proceed with a clause-by-clause review. Minister Simpson, please introduce your staff for the record and proceed with any opening remarks you may have on the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thanks for inviting me to speak on Bill 48 Arbitration Act, which, as you mentioned, replaces the existing Arbitration Act with new modern legislation. Today, I am joined by Brad Patzer, Assistant Deputy Minister Attorney General with the Department of Justice, Ian Rennie, Acting Director of Legislation Division with the Department of Justice, and I believe they are both in the room with you. And then online with me, I have my Ministerial Special Advisor, Ronna Sherrigan. The current Arbitration Act was enacted decades ago and has benefited from few amendments since time. The Arbitration Act establishes the default terms of an arbitration agreement made between two parties. Many powers that an arbitrator possesses in other jurisdictions are not currently available in the Northwest Territories, meaning arbitration is currently a less attractive dispute resolution mechanism in this jurisdiction. The bill is based substantially on the Uniform Arbitration Act, which was adopted in 2016 by the Uniform Law Conference of Canada. The Uniform Law Conference of Canada provides independent analysis and recommendations for the harmonization and reform of laws in Canada. The proposed new act would also bring the NWT's legislation in line with recent legislation elsewhere in Canada and ensure consistency with prevailing arbitral practices. The bill provides extensive and necessary updates to the law governing arbitration, including provisions that will address such things as the commencement and consolidation of arbitral proceedings, jurisdiction of arbitral tribunals, the making of arbitral awards and awarding of costs, and the termination of arbitral proceedings. The department engaged with other GNWT departments, the NWT branch of the Canadian Bar Association, the Law Society of the Northwest Territories, the Union of Northern Workers, and the Supreme Court of the Northwest Territories on the proposed legislation. Replacing the outdated legislation with more modern and up-to-date Arbitration Act will give NWT residents more options for resolving disputes without having to go to court. Arbitration is a voluntary process that is more flexible and informal than going to court, and is a good alternative for people to resolve disputes fairly, quickly, and efficiently. This concludes my opening remarks, and we would be pleased to answer any questions members may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Does the committee agree to proceed to a clause-by-clause review of Bill 48 Arbitration Act?
Agree.
Where possible, I will call clauses in groups. Does committee agree? Committee, please turn to page 8 of the bill. Clauses 1 to 5. Does committee agree? Clauses 6 to 10. Does committee agree? Clauses 11 to 15. Does committee agree? Clauses 18 to 20. Does committee agree? Did I miss 16? Oops, sorry. Did I miss that one? Did I just re-say it? Oops. Okay. Sorry, just to repeat, clauses 16 to 20. Does committee agree? Clauses 21 to 25. Does committee agree? Clauses 26 to 30. Does committee agree? Clauses 31 to 35. Does committee agree? Clauses 36 to 40. Does committee agree? Clauses 41 to 45. Does committee agree? Clauses 46 to 50. Does committee agree? Clauses 51 to 55. Does committee agree? Clauses 56 to 60. Does committee agree? Clauses 61 to 65. Does committee agree? Clauses 66 to 70. Does committee agree? Clauses 71 to 75. Does committee agree? Agree. Clauses 76 to 78. Does committee agree? Does the committee agree that Bill 48, Arbitration Act, is now ready for consideration in Committee of the Whole? MLA Semler.
I move that Bill 48, Arbitration Act, be reported to the Assembly as ready for consideration in Committee of the Whole.
The motion is in order. To the motion? Question has been called. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion is carried. Bill 48, Arbitration Act, will be reported to the Assembly as ready for consideration in Committee of the Whole. Thank you, Mr. Minister. Thank you to your officials. Members, this concludes the public portion of our meeting. Is there a motion to go in camera? Mr. Bonnet Rouge, we will now go in camera. Thank you for your time this evening.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.